Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us at AMS for this special video. We're going to be talking with an important leader of Bosch Mobility Americas about future-proofing production and about increasing strength across manufacturing. So I'm very pleased to be joined by Dr. Hanns Bernd Ketteler, who's Executive Vice President for Operations at Bosch Mobility Americas, responsible for all mobility operations in the Americas for Bosch. You've been leading operations across the region in the Americas since the beginning of last year, beginning of 2024. What would you highlight as some of the most significant milestones and achievements for your department in that time?
Yeah, so we just went through an organizational adaptation, and our focus is on regional growth and customer orientation. So we want to serve customer needs even better and faster than before. And so the first very important milestone was to put this new organization into action, which brought me into this role as the leader for the operations in the Bosch Mobility Americas after spending about 3 decades with Bosch Mobility. So for operations, a very important topic is to better balance our local for local strategy on the one side, which we pursue since long, with a continuation of leveraging the strength of global production networks. And going through this process dictates the most important milestones.
Another trend that we have certainly observed in the global automotive manufacturing industry, and perhaps especially when we also focus in on North America, the development cycle and launch phases are compressing. Everything is moving faster than it did in the past. Do you see that as a competitive factor as well in North America? And what are important ways that your operations can keep up with those shortening cycles?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we see in the environment within the North Americas and of course beyond a lot of changes, and speed becomes a major element of success in times where new technologies enter the market and where also a lot of changes occur. So I would say to comply with this, we have several very important elements to observe. One is certainly the people, as I said earlier, and in particular the cooperation. The cooperation between functions, the cooperation between sites, the cooperation between divisions. This is a very, very strong enabler. So if we look into new launches, we see the earlier we start with bringing the teams together in multifunctional SE teams, and the better we share information, the faster we are and the less mistakes we are doing. And this is something that is really measurable. So wherever we install these systems of simultaneous engineering work and application of digital means to share information, a lot of data among all stakeholders, we see significantly better performance.
Absolutely, and this is a really key strategic area where we're looking to unpack even further in the months ahead and at our event with you. Would you point to you mentioned simultaneous engineering? Are there particular tools or departments where you're really trying to accelerate this development to improve operations?
Yeah, I would like to distinguish again between the more people-oriented tools and activities and technology. It is a major leadership task to bring the people together and make sure that they cooperate. It sounds so evident, but I mean, every expert, of course, focuses on his or her specific topic. And we need to make sure that they do not forget about all the others. So everybody is working in a sometimes very long process. And the first thing is that the key people learn about the other functions who are in the same process. And we do this with rotation programs, for example, to make sure that important persons are used to work in different functions. We use local integration. That means that, for example, R&D departments are located in plants as an important lever. But we have also a lot of things to observe on the organizational level. For example, the target setting. Sounds very, very simple, but we need to make sure that people working the same process do not have conflicting targets. We have some process topics, again, in the organizational setup. So, of course, we're working with SE, simultaneous engineering teams. We are also working more and more often in agile teams or scrum teams to keep people working together, but also to accelerate and to be more flexible in the processes we have to realize. And finally, technology helps us a lot. And again, here it is digitalization. So the use of the massive data we gain in the course of, for example, a launch process, help us a lot if we share them with the right people to give evidence to everybody where we are with our processes and what we need to do. This means as well that we have to make sure that all the team members work with the same metrics.
Are there examples that you'd like to point to where you've started to see some real success? Be it in efficiency, speed, CapEx, tooling?
So we investigated years ago how we are doing with new products, and we found quite some room for improvement. For example, in reducing CapEx investments by reusing existing machines. Those machines may not exist in the plant where you have the new launch. Again, it's a matter of cooperation and networking to make sure that you identify those possibilities. We have three major indicators in launches: utilization, which needs to go up as fast as possible. Of course, failure costs are very important, and the timeline while all this is happening. And we measure it, and we see that we could significantly reduce all those parameters while applying these new methods of cooperation. And I do not talk about getting 20 or 30% better. I talk about reducing things by half or even more.
Parting questions to again reflect and topics I know we'll return to when we meet again in Dearborn later this year at the AMS North America conference. But we talked about digitalization quite a bit. But what would you perhaps highlight when you look ahead as some of the biggest opportunities in North America?
So big data and the use of AI. I think those are the two big fields of opportunities. Both will help us a lot to better anticipate changes or disturbances and to react in time and appropriately, by the way, in any business field, not just in manufacturing. We get, for example, much better control on inventories, especially if things go up and down frequently. And as I explained earlier, we can significantly increase quality and speed. So we're just in a phase where we train our employees, and we as managers are trained as well, of course, to better understand artificial intelligence. There are more and more relatively simple to use tools on the market, and it is amazing how you can increase productivity if you really use.
Dr. Ketteler, thank you so much for sharing these insights with us. It's been an absolute pleasure, exciting to talk about them with you. And as mentioned, really looking forward to the chance to address them further, go a bit deeper in a few areas at the Automotive Manufacturing North America conference in Dearborn later this year, October 22nd, 23rd. For all of you watching, please be sure to register and come meet us there and meet Dr. Ketteler as well, along with plenty of other OEMs, Tier 1 and equipment manufacturing leaders there. But thanks again so much. We're looking forward to seeing you there and again, driving the industry forward as you've shown today.
Once again, thanks for having me and looking forward to meeting you in person.